What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and if you've ever seen this channel before, you would know my go-to favorite everyday carry option is the Glock 26. But as we also know, the Glock 26 Gen 3 and Gen 4 do not come optics ready. And the Gen 5 MOS optics ready version just came out as a recent. And if you've watched this channel, you would know I had a Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS from the factory about a year, maybe a little over a year before Glock even released them. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and happened to get it. But my favorite Glock 26 is the Gen 3. Now, my Glock 27 right here, obviously, is an optics ready, and I had to get an optics ready slide in order to put this RMR optic on here. But because I love this optic so much, which we're going to get into, I will be sending this away to get cut because I absolutely love the Wolf X Pro. Let's get into it, guys. If you know me, I have about 20 to 25 different Sealy optics now. I shouldn't say different. I have a bunch of duplicates and stuff like that. You know, for instance, one of my favorite optics for in the woods and stuff like that is the Sealy Bear. It is an absolute beast of a closed emitter. Absolutely love this thing. That's on my Glock 23. Never a single issue. And what I just added to my Mossberg MC2SC is the Sealy Cat Pro. This thing is an absolute awesome optic. I love this thing. It's basically perfect for micro carry, right? And I just want to also say that this camera distorts the optic and sort of gives an astigmatism, so you can't really see the true dot itself. But with all these optics, I trust my life with it. And another thing over here on this channel, we all can't afford to get a $300, $400, $500 optic. It's just not realistic for a lot of people. So I completely get that. So I like to test certain companies, and I have found the best budget optics company is Sealy. Now I do have other optics like Holosuns and stuff like that. This right here is a 507C in green. Let's see what it looks like on the camera. You probably can't see the actual shape. It just looks like a big green blob. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on Sealy optics, other budget optics, or do you carry with an optic? Most of my firearms do not have an optic on them, but I'm starting to really like optics. And this Glock 26, now that I'm coming back to carrying this more often, especially because it's colder, I can throw the larger mag in it and stuff like that, I had to upgrade the optic. Sealy just released the Wolf X Pro. Now, originally I had the Wolf O, and the Wolf O was just a very small red dot. Very accurate, a great shooter, holds zero, stays on, screws don't loosen up, nothing like that. The Wolf O took an absolute beating. I carried with the Wolf O for about a year, and if you look at that optic, there's no paint left on any of this. It's all scratched up, it's all beat up. But the one thing that always held true is the shake awake always worked, and on top of that, the optic always ran. And if you guys are wondering how to turn your Gen 3, Gen 4 into an optic ready firearm, this is a REM Sport slide right here. What I did is I bought this Glock 26 Gen 3. I got it from a Glock rebuild, so I paid $400 out the door for it. So Glock tested it, made sure it's good to go, sent it back out. And what I did is I sold my Glock 26 slide, OEM slide, for $200. Bought this slide for $120. If you know REM Sport is a very reliable company. That's who makes the barrel, the conversion barrel, for my Smith & Wesson M&P 40 chamber and 357 SIG. I converted it to 357 SIG as my work carry, but I'm actually carrying it right now because I love that pistol. So REM Sport is one of those companies you can really trust. It also comes with forward serrations, which a lot of people want on firearms, especially because that comes stock on everything nowadays. But anyways, the Sealy Wolf O. I'd compare it to my Holosun. Now obviously my Holosun charges itself, whereas the Wolf X Pro still uses batteries, but honestly, I've never changed out the batteries on my original Wolf O. I've never changed them out, and that thing has seen a lot of range time, a lot of carry time, and obviously whenever it shakes, it wakes up, it turns on, and I still, to this day, have not had to change the battery. These things last forever. Also, on a lot of their optics, they throw in some texturing, so you can rack the slide very easily from the optic, and also this is fully submersible. You can take all the Sealy optics, put them in a bucket of water for 24, 48 hours, throw it back on your pistol, and it's going to run like it never was sitting in water. Absolutely awesome. You can also find online some torture testing videos of Sealy optics, and they run. You can beat the crap out of them, and they run. And that's what we want on our carry firearms, because that's what we do. We beat the crap out of them. They're a tool at the end of the day. They're not meant to look pretty. they're meant to get abused. They're meant to go with you everywhere, regardless of conditions, rain, dirt, whatever the case may be. That's what they're meant to do. But as you can see, let's go over this optic real quick. Check that out. Obviously, that's brightness. You can change it up or down. A little bit of texturing. Wolf X Pro. The Sealy logo. Also the Sealy logo. Adjustable. And it comes with everything you need. It also comes with tons and tons of different screw sizes and all sorts of stuff. So it's a great package. And here's the thing. Once again, budget-oriented optics. A lot of people are carrying a $300, $400 optics-ready firearm because it's cheap, because it's budget-oriented. They're not going to double the price of their carry firearm simply because they need the best optic in the world. Or it's just not realistic for a lot of us, so I completely get it. That's why I test stuff like this, and that's why I run stuff like this. And so far, I've been so pleased. Now, once again, the camera's going to wash out that dot. But what you can see is, compared to the Holosun, right, the dot is much smaller. Therefore, it's going to lead you to being more accurate. And once again, you can't see it, but this is what it looks like. It washes it out during the camera, but that's what the optic actually looks like. Very similar to the Holosun. Holosun's a little different, but that's what it looks like. This was my Glock 26 carry option for a long time, but to be honest, I never fell in love with this optic. It was great, accurate, but for some reason, I just never fell in love with it. This build I carried for years. It's a new slide I put on it, new barrel. Great choice, but not a big fan of the Holosun. I don't know why. There's other Holosuns that I'm going to get that I absolutely love, that I've shot with, that I've tested at the range, but the X Pro is going on my main carry option. That says a lot. Like I said, very accurate, stays true, very easy to sight in. When you go to the range, you're not wasting all this ammo trying to sight it in. It comes in pretty close to like being sighted in about 20-25 yards, which is typically what you want to sight your optics in at. And it comes pretty close. Like literally, you're barely making any adjustments. Comes with great instructions. Comes with a lot of stuff in the package. Absolute beast. And like I said, the reason I go with this is durability. Absolute durability. These things are beasts. Like I said, the battery life is forever on these things, and they just run. And once again, it is not going to break the bank. So that is a new optic for my Glock 26. We're going to keep testing it, though. I actually bought 2 of them because I really liked it so much. Ordered another one, and so now we're in the testing phase, but so far, so good. And I can't wait to, maybe we'll do a torture test video on the other one I bought. Maybe we'll go out to some land and just beat the crap out of it. See, does it stay true to zero? Does it really hold? But so far, I know for a fact, running all these optics, that they're just great overall firearms. They're a great choice. Optics for your firearm. It's a great choice. Now, on a carry firearm, you don't need optics. Think about it. My second most carry firearm in the world is a Hellcat. And I have a $70 optic on it, the Ruger Ready dot. It stays true to zero, but it is a bigger dot. And the thing is, once the lights go off, there is no dot. When it's battery powered, there is a dot. If this doesn't have any sunlight, there is no dot. So it's very similar to the Ruger Ready dot. I do like the battery powered for that reason, but once again, I feel like in self-defense, you're not going to be using sights in 90% of the cases. You're not going to be engaging in long gun battles. Some cases you have to. Some guy across the mall is shooting at people because he's a psychopath. You can trust optics like this. They're absolutely great. Like I said, they're not going to break the bank. And if you want, you can get 2 of these for about the price of a Holosun. You can't beat it. But if you've watched Sealy's progression from their very first optics to where they're at now, it is unbelievable. I can't say enough good things about them. And that's simply because I've tried them. And when I needed a cheap optic to run, because I wanted an optic and wanted to add to my firearm, they were there for $100, $150. These are a little bit more expensive, but their first optics were cheaper, and they were great. I would still carry with the Wolfo. I would still carry with the CT2, which are their older optics, but they still run great. It's just ever since this new release, this is my go-to. This is what I'm going with. The thing looks absolutely beautiful. Great design. Like I said, I carry them on, I have them on like 10 to 15 different firearms. I have like 20, 25 optics from them, and they all run great. So if you guys are looking for a good budget optic you can trust your life with, also their customer service is solid. Now, I haven't had to use them yet, but I have been in communications with them, and they're basically willing to go the distance and back their product. They're willing to have you beat the crap out of it, and if it doesn't survive what you do to it, they will take care of that problem for you. But yeah, that is my new everyday carry optic. Can't wait to keep testing it, but so far, so good. Thanks for watching, guys.